One of the most highly requested features from Space Station 13, and one of the greatest features of Space Station 13, is now in Space Station 14 on Upstream at least. Text highlighting is now a thing. Text highlighting can be accessed by clicking on your chat filter in the bottom right or top right of your screen depending on your HUD layout, and here you'll see your highlights. By default, there will be nothing here. However, you can change some things out. So if I just type a sentence like, or a phrase like hello, nothing will be highlighted. However, let's say I want hello to be highlighted for whatever reason. Now, anytime somebody says hello, there will be a color above your head. So if you see the text physically, it'll say that. And in the chat, it'll say it physically. This setting can be adjusted in the options, and under accessibility, you can change the color to be whatever you want. So you can make it pop out more if you have issues with certain colors. That should probably be a T there. And anyways, so you can swap that to whatever you want to make it more noticeable, less noticeable, or you don't have to have highlights at all if you don't want them. So if I type in the word the, and I say the, just for example, it'll highlight my name because it's part of the name and the word I have actually said there. But say I put an at in front of it. Now if I type in the word the, it will no longer show the whole name. Now let's get rid of the at and do the so now that is my first two names, or the first two words of my name. And just one more time for an example, do an at, repeat that. Now it no longer says I am saying that. Diana names especially can have some clarity issues because like they have like words like of in it. And since I typed it out as all one phrase, somebody just typing the word of will not actually have it highlight. There's also situations where if you type in something like DET for detective, this can cause issues with certain words where somebody says detain. It'll highlight the first few letters of detain as DET because it's there. However, if you put the word in quotes on both sides and you type in detain once more, it is now looking specifically for the word detective or DET and will once again re-highlight it. So that is essentially how you can use filters for your own visual clarity, and it makes it a lot easier to see this colored thing on the side of your screen actually highlight. Another way you can make this stuff pop out more is I personally don't like playing with add colors to character names because it just adds more unnecessary colors to the chat bar and it can definitely distract you. So now that highlighting is a thing, you may benefit from turning this off. So if you turn it on, for example, and I type in chat, you'll see now my name is already colored in, and say I type in DET, it's like now I have just a lot of clashing colors, and I feel like that could take away from the like clarity of the highlights, but that's up to you. It's all options, so pick whatever option works best for you. Things I would recommend putting in your highlights are things like if you're a captain, put in the word cap or captain and put them in quotes so there's not more confusion there. You can also put in important things like, say there's a person of interest for the round, you could put their name as a highlight so you can look for updates regarding them, maybe catch their name out on a radio, or if you're walking past somewhere, you can see them talking. One other thing I would highly recommend you do is you go to your accessibility settings and make sure you turn this on, autofill the highlights with the character's information. This can just help save some time for setting up a character. So let me go to the lobby, ready up, and then start the round. Now I had nothing in my filters, but if I check my filters now, it automatically filtered in things like bridge, command, cap, captain, and my name. So, and it also automatically does the at. So now if I actually type out my name, since it automatically put the at, it's not highlighting my own name. Really great quality of life. Also, since somebody's probably going to ask this, what happens if you become a syndicate agent? That's no issue at all. So we got the code words dress, for example. If I type in dress, it is going to highlight in the red. So if you wanted a visual distinction between your syndicate code words and your own personal highlighted words, so we could do the Glacier of Vitality dress. It will have my personal highlight color and then my syndicate highlight color. So probably don't make your personal highlight color the same exact color as a syndicate one. Maybe they'll become customizable in the future, but just a word of warning. Other than that, this is very, very awesome to see and should help people catch up on the radio ever so slightly better and pay more attention to things that may be calling them out. When you have a wall of text, especially somebody like the captain who has a billion radio messages, it can be very, very easy to miss a message intended for you or your department. This should help immensely with that. Thank you for watching and great PR.